UFC 310's up around the corner, and there's one particular fight that intrigues me the most on this card, which would be Shavkat Rakhmonov and Ian Garry in a 5-rounder. I don't know why there isn't an interim title on the line, but just looking at everything, this fight is a lot closer than people give it credit for. And I'll be explaining why in this fight breakdown. Starting with what Shavkat does well, he has great pressure and grappling. He'll push offense with strikes and relentlessly look for takedowns. And when on the ground, he's very sticky. He doesn't give you much room, so when opponents scramble, it's easier to put them in a submission. Now some things in his game he's a little weaker at. His defense isn't the best. He prioritizes offense, and his wrestling not the strongest. He does leave himself open to be countered. More heavy on trips and throws than single legs and double legs. And he has struggled getting fights to the ground in the past. Now looking at Ian Machado Garry, things he excels at is distance management, keeping the fight on the outside. He'll look for counters like knees up the middle, straight shots. And his grappling is pretty decent as he's training at Judobox in Brazil, displaying a lot of control in his last fight against MVP. But where Garry does struggle a little bit would be output. In his strikes, he could be looking to land a nice counter or a few clean shots, but not too much volume. And now looking at these two styles, how do I think this fight plays out? As always, Shavkat will pressure forward, looking to hurt Garry or take him down, eventually looking to stop Ian Garry or submit him. Now, I don't know if this fight hits the ground at all. Seeing Shavkat's wrestling, not the strongest, and I bet Ian Garry will be training really hard for takedown defense. And he'll probably know the fight will not be in his favor if it hits the ground. So I assume this fight will be on the feet. And why I say this fight is a lot closer when you look at the two styles. When you look at Shavkat Rakhmonov's fights, he's very open to be countered. And that's what Ian Garry specializes in. Garry poses a lot of problems for Rakhmonov. I could see him catching Shavkat with a jab a lot in this fight, and could very well hurt him coming in. So I believe then we could see Shavkat looking to clinch, or maybe be willing to take one to give more back. So on technical striking, I give Garry an advantage. But as this fight goes on, I see it switching more towards Rakhmonov's favor. Rakhmonov has the ability to keep going. You're going to have to finish him if you want him to stop. So if Garry does slow down, Shavkat will look for that finish, and I think he could get it. So in this fight, I lean very slightly towards Shavkat Rakhmonov. I believe this will be a 5th round TKO, and maybe Garry finishes the fight in the early rounds. That's how I see him winning, but I'm leaning Shavkat.